Hello everyone, we are from Group 10. My name is Kim Soo and my partner is Kolowit. Today we want to talk about a rule-based and people-oriented people-centered community in Indonesia. Here is our contents. The first one is about introduction. The second one is a rule-based and people-oriented people-centered community. The third one is failures to promote human rights, and the fourth one is conclusion. So let's get started. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or we can call ASEAN, is a 10-member intergovernmental organization which aims to accelerate economic growth and promote regional peace and security among its members. In order to promote political and security cooperation, the ASEAN leaders have agreed to establish the ASEAN Political Security Community, or we can call Apsc, which aims to ensure that members live at peace with one another and with the world in a just, democratic, and harmonious environment. There are 4 characteristics and elements of Apsc. 1. A rule-based and people-oriented people-centered community. 2. A resilient community in principle of comprehensive security. 3. An outward-looking community. And 4. A community with strengthened institutional capacity through improved ASEAN work processes and coordination.
Within a rule-based, people-oriented and people-centered community, the enjoyment of human rights and fundamental freedom must be balanced with the performance of corresponding duty, as everyone has a responsibility to all other individuals, the community, and the society where one lives. Everyone in the society has a right to life which shall be protected by law, has the right to nationality as prescribed by law, and everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religions. Every citizen has the right to vote in periodic and genuine elections, and everyone has the right to work, to the free choice of employment, and to adequate standards of living, and especially to education. ASEAN member states share a common interest in and commitment to the promotion and protection of human rights and fundamental freedom, which shall be achieved through inter alia cooperation with one another, as well as with relevant national, regional, and international organizations, in accordance with the ASEAN Charter. The reason why this element is significant and interesting to us is because human rights play an essential role in human life. It is a basic need which allows people to access education and opportunity, choose what environment they want to live, and stand up for their freedoms. Without human rights, people do have life living in a cage, not allowed to express their own opinions, stay in what they are limited, which cause them to become less productive. Therefore, this would lead to multiple effects which could result in affecting societies and the economics as a whole.
The third point is about failure to promote human rights in Indonesia. Human rights have only been formally recognized in Indonesia, both by law and in the constitution, after the fall of Suharto's authoritarian regime in 1998. Human rights are not on the headlines, but are still an issue of interest. It is the language and the exercise of many people, especially those who were impacted by extensive and persistent abuses. It is the language of freedom and claim for justice, truth, and remedies. Indonesia is facing the dilemma for human rights protection in the form of a gap between policy and practice. Although the country has laws on human rights, the violations and violence have increased year by year without remedies.
There are many aspects that Indonesia is not able to completely promote and protect human rights. First, the lack of punishment for perpetrators and land grabbing for business interests is highly widespread. Local residents or indigenous groups were killed and jailed for their resistance and complaint. Minorities are unprotected. Corruption spread among local government, and injustice is the norm in conflict areas such as Aceh, Papua, and East Timor. Moreover, right groups say many of the articles would discriminate against women, religious minorities, as well as stymie freedom of speech and freedoms of associations. Last but not least, Indonesia is one of the countries that restrict the genders of their citizens. Lesbian, gays, bisexuals, and transgenders were discriminated by the law and government. Those people were targeted for arrest and rehabilitation.
Let's take a look at some examples. A series of protests also broke out in many cities across Papua in August and September 2019, following the use of racist slurs and discriminatory attacks against Papuan students who claimed that they were discriminated against by the majority of Indonesians. According to the Human Rights Watch World Report in 2018, 6 people were sentenced to the prison for 1 to 5 years due to the violation of the country's dangerously ambiguous blasphemy law. More than this, foreign journalists who are seeking to report about this issue, especially in West Papua provinces, will be restricted. The ASEAN Post also stated that 2 foreign journalists, Rebecca and Jacob, were harassed in Papua in 2018 for alleged illegal reporting. One of them was questioned 17 hours before being freed. Furthermore, the same source also cited that 100 Papuan children were killed by outbreaks of measles in Asmat Regency. Some protesters in Jakarta died during the post-election riot from May 21st to 23rd of 2019 from gunshot wounds that allegedly came from security personnel.
In conclusion, to promote regional peace and security among members, ASEAN established Apsc, which is characterized into 4 elements. However, the element that stands out among others is the rule-based and people-oriented, people-centered community, since it represents the enjoyments of human rights and fundamental freedoms. Among all the problems, Indonesians seem to suffer from human rights violation. Indonesia's government does not only fail to protect human rights defenders, but also restrict the freedoms of religions and right to express peaceful assembly and association. Government of Indonesia should be open-minded toward LGBT and pay more attention to the protections of human rights defenders and cases of torture and abuse committed by law enforcers against human rights defenders, especially when the cases in dispute involve private sector. That's all for our presentations. Here is our references. Thank you for watching our video.